What's up, guys? Today I'm here to talk about Stranger Things, the last season. To be honest, I took so long to record a review, mostly because it took me so long to recover. I have already seen the entire season at least 2 or 3 times. At least 3 times, I think, and I've just went back and watched my favorite scenes. And I gotta say, first, non-spoilers here is just overall thoughts. This is my personal favorite show. It has been for a long time, mostly because I love Spielberg. And if you've seen season 1, you know, if you're a fan of Stranger Things, it's a huge homage to the 80s. And like the first season, it really feels like that E.T. Spielberg film. I love the kids and the interaction, the story, the mysterious, the supernatural. It's just, I love this show so much. And I gotta say, the last season was fantastic. I mean, Netflix spent a ton of money per episode. I think they had like 30 million budget, which is insane. And it really shows because, I mean, the visual effects were awesome. The acting is just so great. And this was epic, you know, it was really epic. A lot of the characters, they introduced new characters that are just so beloved. And I mean, this show is just, I don't know, if you're not watching, I highly recommend, because it's definitely one of my favorites. And I think this season was absolutely insane. It was sort of the Empire Strikes Back feeling. And even the director said that's what they wanted, like the Empire Strikes Back feeling. I love it's a show that is filled with references, not only from films, but like my favorite things such as Star Wars. And but this series, season 4, it was just like it had like really incredible scenes. You know, it brought back Kate Bush running up the hill. There is a scene with Max and in which that song is introduced, and it's a song that's been, you know, it was made 37 years ago and it just hit #1, and Kate Bush made a ton of money. It's just insane. All I gotta say, guys, you should watch Stranger Things. But here, let's talk spoilers. So if you haven't watched the finale yet, if you haven't seen the show, like I said, this is just my overall thoughts. But now let's talk spoilers. Okay, so this season was very interesting because a lot of the episodes were really long, and to be quite honest, some of the things I would have cut down, such as the jock stuff. I like that part was a little bit sometimes even boring. But other than that, the fact that we had the crew spread all over different locations, the fact that when the action was really happening, Eleven couldn't be physically there. The stakes was just so high. And not only that, there's a lot of mystery that was solved here. Now we understand what is in the Upside Down causing all that distress to Hawkins, and it was one, aka Vecna, aka Harry. I mean, how many names does this guy have? And he's just a psychopath, and he's just an incredible villain. And I think what makes a show really good, it's when you have not just good heroes, but your villain needs to be really compelling. I mean, he's very complex. He has an awesome dialogue on episode 7 where he explains you know, that people are just, he sees himself as superior because people are just living by their own rules, you know, it's just stupid and all of that. And it was just, what a great acting and scene. So first, let's talk a little bit about the split of these characters. We start off in Hawkins, and we are introduced to this amazing character, Eddie. And he's like a metalhead, and he's just so lovely. Like, this guy has like puppy eyes, and to be quite honest, he had an incredible arc throughout the entire film. I mean, the entire season. He starts off at this guy that is scared and just runs away. You know, he always saying, "I'm no hero, I'm no hero," but towards the end, he was a hero. I'm not, happy with how his story arc ended. I mean, the fact they kill him off, to me, he was one of the best characters here in this season. He was just so lovable. And it was so tragic that he died the way that he died. And not only that, that everyone thinks that he's a villain, you know. And obviously, the stuff that was happening in Hawkins is definitely crazy. And maybe for someone that is outside, would maybe think that was weird, but still, it was so tragic, and I just refuse to believe that they are not going to bring him back, not even for flashbacks, or I don't know, maybe he was bitten by bats, but he didn't die. There was a theory about a vampire, him coming back and just helping the gang. And I hope that's true because I really, really love this character. He's one of the best things in this season. You know, he's that scene with him and Chrissy at the very end of episode 1 was terrifying to watch. I had nightmares after, but it was just great. This season was a lot of horror, way more darker, and that's one of the things the directors, you know, Duffer Brothers, they said that it was going to be darker because the kids are grown now, you know, and it's just my goodness, there's just so much. One of the things I really not enjoyed as much is the love triangles. I just hate love triangles. I just don't think it's just annoying to me. The whole Nancy with Steve, I think Steve should have moved on and get somebody else already. That whole thing with Nancy, I just don't think that works. I didn't like that. I love Steve, and sometimes it's just good for you to be alone. Why do you always have to be with someone? You know, Steve maybe should learn a little bit more about himself, but he's there having puppy eyes towards Nancy again, and Nancy having problems with Jonathan. I quite didn't like that as much. The same thing with the whole Will, Mike, and Eleven. I mean, I think Will is more of confused, as in, you know, I remember being 13, 14, and if you have a best friend that starts dating, they don't want anything to do with you. They just want to spend time with a girlfriend or boyfriend. That's annoying. But the way that they wrote Will, it really feels like he's in love with Mike, and I just think that's really sad because Mike and Eleven has been established from episode 1 when he finds her, and it's always been like that, and it's just sad to introduce Will here having feelings for Mike. So I really hope that just doesn't carry on, because, you know, Will deserves to be happy, and obviously Mike loves Eleven. Actually, Mike had a great scene with Eleven. The only thing that I didn't like about that scene is that we don't get to see them talking after, you know, face to face, because that was such a big moment. Not only that, her reaction, everyone else's reaction to hearing what happened, and a lot of people are complaining that now that whole 2 days later after volume 2, you know, in volume 2, it drives a lot of people nuts. It drove me nuts because it was just not a lot of stuff that's not solved, such as like, oh, how did people react to Eddie's death? Like, I hated that. It was so annoying, and I understand the show was just so long. It was 2 hours, 2 hours and a half for the finale. That's incredible, but I think he was a major character, and I just hated that no one talked about it after. I mean, we had Dustin, that scene with Dustin, he was amazing. But let's talk about the performances. Oh, they blew me away this season. I mean, Sadie was amazing. She had one of like the best cinematic scenes in which she's running away from Vecna in episode 4. It was just insane when she's running away, listening to Kate Bush. I was like running, like literally screaming with her, run, run, run. It was just like, what an amazing scene. And I couldn't stop listening to that music. It's literally on loop. I'm listening to it all the time. What an incredible song. And obviously, they also use a remix of that song towards the end. And her death was so sad. I mean, that scene, Lucas and you know, her name is Sadie and his name is Caleb, right? The performance when he was crying and asking her not to go, I literally, it broke my heart. I mean, it took me so long to recover from that finale that's why it took me so long to even record a review, because it's just like processing. My heart was like shattered. I was like, I couldn't believe that she died. So I'm not sure how people felt with Eleven bringing her back, obviously. I mean, it would have been, it's a little bit of a hope that she brings her back, but yeah, if she had died, maybe really died, it was just, I think maybe for the plot would have worked better. However, we don't know what they have planned for season 5. You know, Max is in a coma and in a really bad shape. I mean, she can't see. She's brain dead. Her bones are broken. That scene was just, it was too much. My goodness, the whole Eddie cutting to Max. I think I've never sobbed so hard in my entire life. What a finale. I was just like, amazing. So yes, the performances were really great. Dustin was had an incredible arc. You know, his friendship with Eddie and Steve, and the fact that, you know, oh, I love that scene when Eddie said that, oh, that Dustin worships Steve, you know, he really looks up to him. It's just, I think the best thing about this show is that the characters are so adorable. I think Eleven was a boss in this series. I mean, she lost towards the end, but I think that's because she's probably gonna go OP next season. The scene of her with the helicopter was absolutely awesome to watch. I love her reunion with Mike. I love Mike in 11. I just thought that with the way that they played Mike in 11, it was like, oh, they were gonna split because Mike was shocked that she hit Angela. Angela, by the way, what a bitch, you know. She deserved that. Seriously, 11, you go, girl. Because I was like, this girl is asking for it. Are you kidding me? But anyways, so the way that they write, like to create some tension, I didn't really like the way that Mike reacted, because he's been bullied, and 11 saved his life, breaking the arm of the bully who almost killed him. Obviously, they didn't kill her here. They're not trying to kill her. They're trying to humiliate her. But his reaction should have been a little more, you know, I don't know. Maybe he was right that he was surprised. I mean, she just slashed Angela's face, right? But still, I think they did that to create some tension and to have that reunion at the end. I thought it was great. I think Will, my God, that boy can act. I mean, his scenes, you know, when he was talking to Mike about how 11 needs Mike, and Mike just so worried that he would lose Elle. He doesn't want to lose her because, you know, she's Superman, but he feels like he's not good enough for her. I thought that was so real, but at the same time, Will is such a good friend because he understands Mike loves her, and he was still there for her. And you could tell that he was talking a little bit about himself as well, because he was lost without his friend. He was in a strange place with weird feelings, you know. So, oh my God, that broke my heart, that scene. I just hope that he has a better... I have bad feeling that things are going to go even worse next season. I think he's going to... Vecna is going to get him again. I have a feeling, but I don't know. But anyways, guys, I thought that, you know, the Hopper stuff with Joyce was really great. A lot of the stuff in Russia, it was, to be quite honest, I was more interested in the stuff going on in Hawkins. I think that was the most interesting part of the show. The whole scene in which Steve, Nancy, and Eddie get stuck in the Upside Down and they have to talk to Dustin. It was just that stuff. I was there for it because it's so mysterious and it's so awesome, these different dimensions. So I do think a lot of the stuff in Russia could have been a little shorter. You know, we saw so much suffering. Maybe there was not need for all of that. But overall, I think this was a fantastic show. I'm just really sad that they kill off Eddie. I thought he was one of the best characters. It's terrible that he's not coming back. I mean, I don't know. It was really like Empire Strikes Back here, because they didn't actually win. You know, they defeated Vecna. He's hurt. But there's just so much now, you know. There's the Vision, Nancy Vision. The Upside Down, there's a Mother Gate opened right now that could, you know. I have no idea how are they going to like save Hawkins going forward, but I thought this was epic, an incredible show, and I don't know why you're not watching, because it's one of my favorites, and I highly recommend that you watch Stranger Things. But anyways, guys, that is my review. Drop your comments down below. Let me know your theories for season 5. What do you think will happen? Do you think somebody else will die? I hope not. You know, I actually don't want these characters to die. And I saw an interview in which the Duffer Brothers said, this is not Game of Thrones, it's not Westeros, it's not supposed to be depressing. I mean, are you kidding me? I cried a lot with Eddie and the whole Max situation, and poor girl. It was so sad, you know. And I hope I hope that we have a really awesome ending, and it's just like, okay, you can break my heart a little bit, but just don't make it depressing at the end. I don't want like Eleven to sacrifice herself, for instance, or anyone. Just no more death. That okay? Just give me a nice tied in a bow. I'd be happy with that, I guess. I mean, that's what I want. But anyways, guys, drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.